So Apple has officially confirmed an October event. It's going to be taking place here in New York, which is fairly interesting because this might be the first Apple event to be here in New York, in Brooklyn. The time is going to be different for you guys on the West Coast. So if you live in the Pacific time, that means you have to watch this event at 7 a.m. Well, you don't have to watch it, I'm just saying. It's going to be 7 a.m., so that's fairly early to see an Apple event, in my opinion. 10 a.m. is a perfect time, but for you guys, yeah, that's a little early. There's more in the makings. That's what Apple is showing off right now. And this is a no-brainer. This is the iPad. This is an iPad event. The new iPad Pros is going to feature a bezel-less display, USB Type-C, no headphone jack, maybe a squarey boxy design, bringing back the iPhone 4 and iPhone 5 and 5S and SE days. We're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not a fan of that design. I like that curvy design of the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 6. I love that kind of design. It's just a little bit more modern to me. And the only reason why they're bringing back that boxy design is because since it's no bezels, it's gonna be a little bit more harder to hold. So they wanna make it comfortable in the hand. And of course, the iPad Pro is going to feature an A12X chip. So the iPad Pro that you can buy right now is only an A10X chip. So they skip an entire generation because the iPad Pro that came out last year, that came out before the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8. So yeah, so they're gonna step it up a notch with the processor. So it's gonna be off the charts, literally. It might be just as fast as my MacBook Pro, literally, maybe, which is insane. And of course, it's gonna come in 10.5 inch, 12.9 inch. So yeah, same thing with that. And it might actually feel like it's a bigger display because no bezels. The colors, I hope we'll see a rose gold option on the 12.9 inch iPad. We may see some new Apple Pencils. I'm not sure what Apple is gonna do next with the Apple Pencil. Maybe have an eraser. You're drawing something in Procreate, maybe you can just erase it. Type-C connection may be a thing. So Apple may completely kill the lightning cable on the iPads and just have it with just Type-C connection. So yeah, I mean, that might piss some people off, but to tech junkies like me, we appreciate that because we have a bunch of Type-C cables everywhere. But just for the average Apple consumer, this may be annoying because you have a bunch of lightning cables. But I would say Type-C is the great future because you have Android and you have iOS finally taking the same exact cable. Now let's talk about the AirPower and the AirPods 2. Now the AirPower has been a little bit over a year since Apple announced the AirPower, and it's still not here yet, so that's kind of unfortunate. They took it off their website, so you can't even read up on it. So we don't know what Apple is doing. They're having some difficulties trying to protect your device from overheating and frying your device, so they want to make sure everything is top notch before they actually release it. But they should never announce it. If you know this thing is not ready, if it's still in the beta stages, they should have never announced it last year. So yeah, now it's kind of biting them in the you know what. Now let's talk about the AirPods 2. Now in my opinion, I don't think Apple's gonna release the AirPods 2 if they can't get the AirPower right. Say AirPods and AirPower 10 times, you're gonna get tongue-tied, trust me. So yeah, on a serious note, I don't think they're gonna release the AirPods 2 because if they can't figure that out, they're not gonna release the AirPods 2, even though you have some wireless chargers out there that Apple partnered with. So I don't know, they can still release it and still have that wireless charging capabilities, but hey, I don't think they're gonna do that. Now let's talk about the Macs. Now the Macs definitely need some kind of refresh, especially the Mac Mini. It's been exactly 2014 since Apple updated the Mac Mini. So yes, it's time for an upgrade the processor, change up the design. Instead of it being silver, make a space gray option. You know, they need to do something with the Mac Mini. I love the Mac Mini because it's so tiny and it's just a computer. You can take it with you for traveling, or maybe even better yet, they should have a Pro version of that, because sometimes taking a MacBook Pro is not enough power. But when you have a desktop, you want that size and you want that desktop experience too. So I don't know, I think Apple should come out with the Mac Mini Pro. That's just me, that's just my opinion. I think with the iMac, they're gonna, instead of it being a 4-core and a dual core right now, quad core should be the standard for the iMac. I think dual core is on the way out right now because it's 2019. I'm gonna just say it's 2019. I don't think dual core is gonna work out. It's not gonna work out no more. Now let's talk about the MacBook Air. Now the MacBook Air is Apple's #1 best-selling MacBook to date because that price tag is affordable. you have all your ports, and most importantly, it's a Mac. I mean, who doesn't love Apple and Mac? I mean, that's important. But the problem with that is the display is kind of outdated. I mean, this thing been revealed since 2011. I remember Steve Jobs taking this thing out the yellow envelope, and everybody was like, whoa. But that was like 2009, 2010. That was like the early days. I mean, it's about to be almost a decade now. And it's so crazy because at the time, everybody was complaining that this thing doesn't have a CD drive, doesn't have a FireWire, and history repeats itself because we don't want to see Apple get rid of the USB ports and the SD card slots. We don't want those ports removed, but hey, maybe wireless is the future. But anyway, Apple may just include a Retina display. They're just gonna upgrade the display, nothing else, and just keep it moving. Or they might discontinue the MacBook Air altogether and just upgrade the MacBook. That's the one with the one port and the headphone jack. They're gonna increase the size to from 12-inch to 13-inch. So they might kill the MacBook Air and just have another size of the MacBook. And I really hate the MacBook because it has a mobile processor, and the MacBook Air actually has a real processor. I would hate to see the MacBook Air go, but there's definitely a possibility that Apple may do that. And it kind of does make sense, sadly, because you have the MacBook and you have the MacBook Air. Two MacBooks is simple, you know, and really it's hard to even think about the name Air. Like MacBook Air, you would think it's the thinnest MacBook ever, but technically the MacBook is the thinnest. It's thinner than the MacBook Air. So yeah, I mean, it's sad to see it go, but there's a chance that it may go. If not, the MacBook Air may just have a Retina display. That's pretty much it with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm excited for this event. I wish I can go and see it live, like person to person, seeing Tim Cook unreveal the new iPad Pros. Not only that, you're testing out the product too as well, so you can hold it in your hand and see how it is, which is an amazing thing. You just one of the first in the world to try it. It is what it is. It is what it is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new around here for more Apple content with notifications on. I make other videos too as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a simple day. Peace.